Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another Fate Reforged 8-4 draft. This time I'm not going to pass Outpost Siege. Um, actually, I don't regret my pick last time I was in the 8-4, the Heel Cutter over it for the more aggressive deck. But now that I know Outpost Siege went up to 6 to 7 tickets because of the red-white aggro deck in Standard, I got to take 6 to 7 tickets because 6 to 7 tickets pays for like just so much of this draft that even if I get throttled, um, I'm going to be sitting okay. And Outpost Siege is a great card. On top of that, it's not like there's anything wrong with Outpost Siege. Other good cards in this pack are like Shockmaw Dragon, Douse and Gloom, Sandstep Outcast is great, Lotus Path Djinn is fantastic. I like Hunt the Weak. I guess I like Pressure Point in like a tempo deck. Hooded Assassin is playable, Formless Nurturing playable, nothing amazing. But yeah, we'll take same rare again from our 8-4. Okay, interesting. Past the Shamanic Revelation, which I think is actually a very powerful card. Problems with taking green. It limits me to Temur. The upside of that, however, is that this is a great Temur card. It's a very powerful card. Green card draw is rare. So is red card draw. It's actually weird that we got back-to-back card draw. I kind of don't think there's anything super close to as powerful as this. I mean, I guess you do have to pay 5 mana, but, well, a couple things. You need at least a good creature count in your deck. So if you don't have a good creature count in your deck, this card is going to perform poorly. Could see the downside in that. But the next closest thing for me is either like Douse and Gloom, which I do like. It's probably just Douse and Gloom, which also limits me. I mean, I feel like there's more potential upside with Shamanic Revelation. All right, I justified it. So yes, it does limit me to Temur, as I mentioned. Here's a Sandstep Outcast. Third pick. Let me think about that. I could take the Einok Guide. I could take the Hunt the Weak. Einok Guide's a bear, and it also fixes, which I like. There's like no blue picks in here. There's a Rugged Highlands, which is good. So really the choices for me are Einok Guide, Hunt the Weak, Rugged Highlands, and Sandstep Outcast if I want to sort of jump out of red-green and go maybe red-white. I don't think I want to, although, I mean, Shamanic Revelation admittedly works reasonably well with Outcast. That limits me to Abzan. I kind of want to make both these cards work. I think I'm going to take the, I think I'm going to take the bear. I want to make sure I got some cheap plays if I'm going to make these super card advantage cards work. All right, Heel Cutter here is pretty good. Even if I'm not straight beat down, Heel Cutter is a pretty awesome card. So I think I'm going to take that. Winds of Calcisma, probably a pretty good card if I end up Temur. Whisk Away, yeah, that's certainly a good Temur card too. I think I'd still rather have the Heel Cutter because Heel Cutter's just such a good aggressive card, essentially. And we want a high creature count to make Shamanic Revelation much better. Doesn't trigger the Ferocious, but I think that's okay. All right, let's go Heel Cutter. Okay, so now that's interesting. It's a late Reach of Shadows, fairly late at least. We have a sorcery. We don't have any instants yet for Bloodfire Enforcers. However, this does turn on the Ferocious and other Ferocious cards we get, which is quite good. I don't think Bloodfire Enforcers is amazing, but a 4-mana 5/2 is not bad. There is a collateral damage, which I'm not really considering here. I'd rather up my creature count for now. I do want to be sort of a creature-heavy deck, especially alongside the likes of Heel Cutter and Shamanic Revelation. And even if I, were to pick dragons on Outpost Siege, which isn't super common, you almost always pick cons, but let's take the Enforcers here. I'm actually okay with that. Okay, interesting now. This is interesting. So, Ugin's Construct, you know, is an okay card. I don't think this is the deck for it, really. Mapped Oasis, some ramp, but I'm not convinced I want it in this deck. I'm really looking at Whisk Away, which is good on the splash, but more likely the Thornwood Falls, as the only real clan I can go into is Temur, and Thornwood Falls would be able to fix for our splash color fairly well. I think I'm going to go for the Thornwood Falls over the Whisk Away. I like the Whisk Away, but if I don't have fixing for it, it's going to be difficult to make work. So let's take the Thornwood Falls. Okay, I like Ruthless Instincts. There is a Mardu Scout, which is a bit color intensive, however. If I played like green-red beatdown, I could probably make it work. But I actually like Ruthless Instincts quite a bit, and it's an instant, which is going to turn our... I mean, I'm not going to direct my deck towards getting a good distribution of both instants and sorceries. I'm not going to go out of my way for it. It just so happens that Ruthless Instincts is a very versatile trick, since you can untap a creature and block flyers suddenly, or make an attacking creature much better. I actually really like Ruthless Instincts. I've had pretty good experiences overall with it so far, so I'm okay with that one. This is interesting. Fierce Invocation is fine. It turns on Ferocious. It is a sorcery for Bloodfire Enforcers. It's a creature, so that one's okay. Goblin Boomkeg I haven't played yet, but I still feel like that card's probably okay. And there's also a Temur Rune Mark, which gives trample, but not exactly sure that's what I want. I think I probably take the Fierce Invocation. It's not great, but I like having some ferocious triggers, and I think it's okay. It's certainly a playable card. Okay, so now it's Temur Battle Rage versus Formless Nurturing, and there's a Winds of Calcisma, which currently we have two guys that turn it on, and it works pretty well with Bloodfire Enforcers. Maybe I take the Winds, actually. If I end up with some more 4-power dudes, I could really like this, especially since the next couple packs could present us with some of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Those, I've played them 1,000 times. The bears, whatever their names are. The 3-mana 4/2 bears. This is interesting. Let's see. I guess I can take Ambush, Crotique. Does work with Revelation. Is there anything I want to bounce? Guess it kind of works with Inoc Guide. I don't like it that much. It doesn't really work all that well with Invocation. If Invocation's a spell, I can return it, but I'm not taking anything else here, really, I don't think. I'm not really impressed by Mardu Rune Mark. I could take the Bloodfell Caves for splashes, but that's okay. Cunning Strike on the splash might be okay. Otherwise, it's Fruit of the First Tree, which I don't think I'm really playing. I don't think there's a good... I don't even need really more card draw in this deck. But we'll take the Cunning Strike because it's removal, instant speed. Got a second Winds? All right. Take a second Winds. Doubt we'll be needing it. Shifting Loyalties. I mean, Temur Rune Mark's fine. I think I'm going to take the Loyalties just because there's potential upside with that. And we do have one piece of fixing for it already. Okay. So, fairly successful pack one. Yeah, we even get a last pick on color Rune Mark. So, I'd like to be in Temur. We need more creatures. Currently, we're rocking 5 creatures in Cloud, including the Fierce Invocation, rather. 1,000 Winds is a very powerful card. I don't have any issues taking that. There's a Highland Game, which I'd like to table, or Savage Punch. Even Bloodfire Expert is fine in this deck with Shamanic Revelation. But 1,000 Winds is just a lot of potential upside. It's going to be tough to flip it, but I think I'm going to try and make it work anyway. I mean, it's a tough card to splash, I admit, but the fact that I can play it as Grey Ogre, there is a lot of upside to 1,000 Winds. I've just won some games on the back of 1,000 Winds. I do need to focus on my early game. I'm I'm getting a nice late game, but early game is very, very important. And currently we only have one actual 2-drop creature, so I'm going to have to find some more here. All right, well, there's an Avalanche Tusker, which is quite good. I mean, Tusker's... It's not broken, but he is pretty good. 5 mana, 6/4, sufficient, and it makes a creature block. Otherwise, I take like a Parapet, which is fine. buys us some time, which is pretty good, but I think the Tusker is going to be more powerful overall. Guess we take the rare here. Once again, still need some early game. Okay, this is interesting. There is a Horde Ambusher, but I think I'm going to go for the Highland game. The reason I'm taking the Highland game is I'm looking for more cheap creatures because we have a great late game plan right now. So I just need to get as many cards that buy me time as possible. And I think Highland game does an excellent job at that. Jeskai Ascendancy Abzan Charm Armament Core is just insanely strong. But, I mean, none of those cards are on color. And like I said, we're looking for early game and specifically early creatures. So even though Horde Ambusher was fine, I think we're going for the less aggressive but more defensive card in Highland game. This is interesting. I think we probably just take the Aerostorm. I actually like Dragon Scale Boon curve-wise better, but I'd rather play the Aerostorm over the Cunning Strike, I think. Just put less blue in our deck. Even though I did first pick the 1,000 Winds. I don't regret that. This card is really strong. Mahamoti Gen. Alright, take an Aerostorm here. Another 5-drop. Not great, but that's alright. Bring Low is removal. Summit Prowler turns on Shamanic Revelation and the Winds, which is interesting. It's color intensive though. I mean, there's a chance I end up 2-color if I don't see any fixing flowing. And if that's the case, I probably want to make maximized use of these Winds of Calcisma since they are good combat tricks. I guess we'll take the Summit Prowler. Starting to get cautious of our, well, here's another blue fixer. Interesting. There's also incremental growth, which does also work well with Winds, but we have a fairly low creature count at the moment. I mean, there's probably enough upside to our blue cards where I probably just want to take the Thornwood Falls. Plus, there's a good chance that we see some more Temur cards. I feel like Temur is one of those clans that's not super highly played. Otherwise, I take a Smoke Teller, which is just a 2-drop beater, which is fine. But let's take the Thornwood Falls. I kind of want to make the blue work in this deck if I can. All right, I can take the Leaping Master. There's a Parapet as well. I think Parapet's a little more out of place because of the black than just a Goblin Piker would be in our deck, which isn't amazing, admittedly. But if you're short on creatures and you're looking for stuff to buy you time, we really want to make Shamanic Revelation better, I think. So let's take the Leaping Master here. I'm okay with that. Okay, I think we take Summit Prowler number 2 here. Admittedly, color intensive again, but I like having cards that turn on this effect in our deck because I do think this is a powerful effect. And Trumpet Blast isn't really for us, and Crippling Chill is actually a good card, but I think I'm going to take the Summit Prowler instead. We're kind of on the hunt for good creatures, and I feel like Summit Prowler is a pretty good one for our deck. All right, Highland game number 2 is fine. All right, so we're ending up with a decent amount of 2-drops. None of these cards really matter. I still don't think I need the Parapet. That's not. Let's take out cards I'd prefer to not play. Like, I don't think I need Temur Runemark. I guess I'd prefer to not play the Leaping Master. Probably not playing Shifting Loyalties. I don't think I'm going to play Parapet. I'm going to take the Windstorm for sideboard because it's a nice spell to have. All right, good cards tabled here, actually. I don't think Warshrieker's that great for us. We don't really have a lot to go in. I think I'm just going to take the Horde Ambusher, which is fine for us. Not amazing. Not a very good defensive card, but it's a fine card. Curve-wise, it's relatively cheap. If I'm hard up for a 2-drop, I can play it. Into a Heel Cutter's not bad either. I mean, this deck looks like it could actually have some tempo plays. It's tough. I'm having a hard time pulling the trigger on our blue in our deck. We only have 2 cards currently that really make it worthwhile. And, well, there's a banner. That's interesting. I might consider that banner. But yeah. I mean, we have a fair amount of 5-drops, actually. I might want to consider this banner. So how are we looking on removal? I mean, I guess Winds are sort of tricks, but they're not insane ones unless you can really make them work. All right, so I think we want to focus on the red and the green. There's a Barrage of Boulders, which is good with our most of our creatures, actually. How many do we have at this point that make it work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not bad. Become Immense is very strong too, though. It's an excellent combat trick. I think we're more likely to table the Barrage. I think we actually take the Savage Punch. We're looking for good removal. Savage Punch does double duty in that you can cast Savage Punch and then wins, and you get Ferocious. So it's like fight something, swing with everything. Oh, you block, wins. And it's only 4 mana. I could see that being pretty good. I mean, Savage Punch is probably the strongest card here, since it's just a good fight card in general, and we have the 4 power to back it up. All right. I'm fine with that. Long Shot Squad's fine. Witness of the Ages is also fine. It does have the 4 power, which I want, and it's fairly cheaper on the top end. We don't have much flight protection, though, which might make the Long Shot Squad the better pick. But, I mean, you can also Outlast plus Savage Punch, and it still gives you the full value. There's Monastery Flock. I like that a little bit less. And I don't think we're beat down enough to make Valley Dasher work. So really, I guess the pick is between Witness and Long Shot Squad. Long Shot Squad doesn't interact like too crazy good in our deck. I like that I could play Witness on turn 3. It gives us a little bit more early play. And considering I'm like this close to cutting blue from our deck, I may just want another 3-drop. Because if I cut blue, I'd want to play 17 lands. If I play 17 lands, I don't want congested 4-drop slot. I'd rather have the 4 power guy. All right, I think I'm taking Witness just for synergy. And like I said, I'm just about to cut blue. I think for now I'm going to take it out to take a look at where we're at. Just because I feel like we're not going to need it. Especially with only 2 pieces of fixing. Okay, I think we got to take the Arc Lightning here. I would like the Bloodfire Expert. I'd settle for a tabled Smoke Teller just for just a ton of early game basically. But Arc Lightning is a lot better now with Fate Reforged, and it just kind of is a preventative measure against getting steamrolled. And we're starting to actually get a good spread of instant and sorcery, which could potentially turn on Bloodfire Enforcer. But like I said, you don't need to turn Bloodfire Enforcer on to make him good. 5/2 for 4 is at least good defensively. All right, Arc Lightning it is. This is interesting. I don't really want the Tower Shell all that much. I think it's really Loxodon versus Highland game. Loxodon, actually Tower Shell with double wins. Savage Punch. That's interesting. Just like defensively with wins, it's pretty good, but I still don't like the card all that much. I could take the Highland game as just another 2-drop creature. Triple Highland game make me feel a little bit more comfortable. But I am looking for more. We don't have enough finishers currently, really. I guess I'd take the Loxodon. It's not great, but I want at least one. I want a lot of 4 power guys, or else the double wins in our deck's not going to be good. But I think double wins could be really good if I can consistently turn it on. All right, another blue fix. That might be. I mean, there's nothing else for us, really. A Leaping Master if I want just more cheap dudes. I guess Shamanic Revelation's looking pretty bad in here, though, based on this deck. Maybe I just go for more power out a bunch of creatures. But then I don't get this sweet wins synergy. I guess I still can make blue. I could probably make blue work in our deck, I guess. Just don't even know if it's worth it. Burn Away is super strong, so gotta slam that. It's a nice gift. Interesting. So another Swiftwater Cliffs. Well, we already have a deck, so it'd be like Aerostorm or Canyon Lurkers otherwise, which is fine. Probably the weakest card in my deck now is like Fierce Invocation, even though it's a 4-drop. Actually, maybe Ambush Crotique. So maybe just take the Cliffs here. I like having the Lurkers for more stuff to turn on wins. But currently we're sitting okay on things that turn on. I guess I take the Cliffs. Screw it. I mean, we're starting to get to the point. Ooh, get a lurkers anyway. What do I want to cut for that? Maybe an ambusher. But I like that it's cheap. I mean, I have the means to splash 1,000 Winds now pretty easily, and Avalanche Tusker. Can I get away with 17 lands in this deck? It's possible. Top out at 5. I'd probably rather play the Lurkers than the Invocation, just because it comes down faster. I think I'm going to hate the mana base of my opponents, probably. If they're trying something spicy with a bunch of colors. Alright, I don't really need Valley Dasher. Don't really need Goblin Slide. Don't really need any of these cards. I don't even think I play Scout the Borders. So maybe I just hate the... Well, it's not even that good against us, but whatever. Just in case. Smoke Teller. We'll take it. Don't think we're main decking it. Another Highland game tabled. Nice. I think I'll take that, though. Might make it work. Embodiment, not that good on the splash, but whatever. I don't need a second. Shatter. Alright, so we ended up with a good deck, actually. We got 4 pieces of splash fixing. Debating still not playing blue in here, believe it or not. Just because I don't know if it's even necessary. I have to do a count on how many things turn on our wins. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're up to like 8 or 9, which seems like it's probably enough. But I'm trying to think if splashing the blue is ultimately worth it, because I do like 1,000 Winds quite a bit. But at the same time, yeah, I'm not sure. Morph, 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 morph. Dash. Prowler, Prowler, Enforcers, Tusker. Shamanic Revelation, this thing, these 2 guys. Outpost Siege. Oh, wait. Why am I moving those up there? Those aren't creatures. Alright, so tricks. Didn't get any of the bears. How many things do we have for double wins? Maybe not enough where I want double wins anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9's actually a pretty good count. 15 creatures including Fierce Invocation. Do I want to play 17 lands? We top out at 5. And we have decent fixing. I might. And we have Inoc Guide for fixing too. Finds us lands. Top out at 5. I kind of want to try these wins out as combat tricks with 9 4-power guys in the deck. But it only prevents combat damage, which is certainly worthy of noting. There's times where wins isn't going to be that good, I don't think. Like if our opponent's just sort of a burn or spot removal deck, like we can actually get blown out pretty good if I wins with a 4-power guy and then they just kill my 4-power guy and then it's just prevent all damage. It's kind of a wasted effect. I could see that being an issue. Maybe I just play 1 wins. Maybe 2 wins is legitimately overkill, at least in the main deck. If I see they're like an Omega creature, if they're like a very creature combat oriented deck, I could see that being a lot better. Otherwise, I can cut blue. I do have the fixing to make blue work, but how powerful is Avalanche Tusker and 1,000 Winds? They're both strong. They are both legitimately strong. We didn't get any other things that's a motivating factor to play blue, though. You know? Which makes it slightly less attractive, but it just seems too easy to play it in here. I could play the Cunning Strike over something, but I think we're actually okay on the removal front. Savage Punch, Arc Lightning, Ruthless Instincts, Burn Away, Arrow Storm. It's not bad. I might want to play 18 lands. I know people question me for that all the time, but let's look at our curve if you unmorph. if you unmorph for really like this, which I guess is still, actually, that's still okay with 17. Although we're a bit heavy in the 5-drop slot. I think it actually is legitimately still okay with this, with 17. I think. I don't know. So we probably only play one island. I think 5 should be enough to get our 1,000 wins online in the late game. And certainly enough to play an Avalanche Tusker when we need it. So we can do this. We probably have enough 5-drops where I could play the Temur banner with 17 lands too. I could actually see that. That's not the worst. Because it builds towards 1,000 wins quicker and a fair amount of 5-drops that I'd like to play. But I don't want to play Shamanic Revelation right away. We just want a bunch of creatures for that. If I'm like drawing 3 cards and gaining 4 life for each creature too, it's not even just one creature, it's for each creature. Yeah, Shamanic Revelation can flip a game, I think. This is probably okay. So let's just, we've already got 2 sources of, I actually got to sort by color real quick here. So 2 blue spells, primarily red. We do have some fairly color intensive red and green, but Loxodon can just be unmorphed, and Shamanic Revelation's fairly late game, so we need the red. We got to err towards red, so we already have 2 red fixing, 2 green fixing, 4 blue fixing. I think we do 1 more blue, which still is going to make 1,000 wins fairly difficult to get double blue, but I think it's still possible enough. And then this would be 7 green, 9 red. I don't know if I want to do that. I think we actually want to do 8 and 8. Yes, I need double red, but I need green early for Highland games too. And with the iNock guide, we can find our other colors. This is, it's an interesting deck. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be playing blue, but just the four lands that help fix for it, and the fact that one of them can just be morphed out, I think makes this hand pretty good. This deck's not insane, but it's certainly fine. We have enough early plays, I think, between Horde Ambusher, iNock Guide, triple Highland game. We have a good amount of 4 power plus for our ferocious cards, the Winds, the Savage Punch, the where's the other one? Shamanic Revelation. So, yeah, this deck looks okay. Nothing crazy, nothing insane, but looks like we could do some work with this deck. I still am not entirely convinced this is an 18 land deck. It could be, though. It's tough to say. What's the weakest card in this deck? That's a good question. Maybe the Fierce Invocation's the weakest, but I kind of like having 15 creatures, and especially another creature that can dig up one of our fatties or is, you know, just good with our ferocious stuff. It's good with Winds. It's good with Revelation. It's good with Savage Punch. Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. It's tough to say whether I want to play 18 lands or not, but I think we're going to run it like this. So, all right, we'll try it. We'll see you round 1.